Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to introduce our guest, Danielle Fairbairn-Bland. Danielle is a licensed clinical social worker, so she has her LCSW. Thank you so much, Danielle, for joining me for Women's History Month. We're talking about women making history now, and you're doing so many amazing things. I'm honored that you would join us. Can you tell us a little bit about your professional titles and what you do?
Sure. Thank you, Amira, for creating this platform and having me as a guest. As Amira shared, my name is Danielle Fairbairn-Bland. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And in addition to my social work background, I have certifications in anger management and grief support. Also, I am proud to be an author of 7, soon to be 8 children's books. And I'm also a speaker and a coach. I support entrepreneurs who want to be able to also write books as well.
That's so terrific, Danielle. And I know I've ordered some of your books for my daughter and for family members, and they are absolutely terrific.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw this in there. I didn't send this in the question list, but I'm gonna throw this in because I think it's so
Sure.
important. What was your inspiration behind authoring books? Getting that started as,
Of course. So as social workers, it's not one dimensional. And that's what I love about social work. We can do everything really and truly. Our skill sets are wide, they're deep, the range that we have is amazing. And I do consider myself a creative as well. And during the pandemic, I realized that children were in need of a lot more tools than I had to give them. I work with children, teens, and adults. But this was a time when we were going through the mask mandate and COVID was happening. And that was the first book that I birthed, Zora, The Adventures of Zora and the Magical Mask. And I wanted to create a fun way that parents can talk to their children about the importance of wearing a mask, but importance of preserving and promoting joy as well. We lost so much joy during this time, and we lost people, friends, family members, and I wanted to bring back the joy. And then I realized that, wow, I really love creating these activity books and journals. And so from then it started with 1, and now I'm at 8, God willing, continuing to produce, continuing to throw out books that are amazing. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate the community. I appreciate you sharing my information and people really being open to seeing children that look like us on coloring books. So it was about representation. It was also about our children knowing that they are beautiful, that they can be on the cover of any magazine or any book. And also for clinicians to know that the tools that we use with our clients are extremely important. We should not be using tools with our clients that don't represent them. And too often I see, whether it be dolls, whether I see, wooden pegs that don't look like us, that's not appropriate. It actually can do more harm than good. And we need to really search for what we need. And if it's not there, we need to create it.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're so right. Like representation matters. And when you're doing clinical work and what you're using is not reflective of you, that's a big problem, for clients and for clinicians who want to do good clinical work. I think that's such a great point. And I know you've also been speaking about your books and things in different venues, right? I'm sure that's been,
it's been really great to connect with the community. I've been really doing a lot of pop-ups. I've been doing speaking engagements at schools, at organizations, and it's really been helpful for the students and the teachers and the staff to also see that children's literacy is important. It's a priority, but also ensuring that, Black authors get the platform that they need and deserve. Too often, children's books with animals are highlighted, children's books with, shapes are highlighted, which is important as well. But Black characters are really important because it humanizes us. It's sad that we have to do that, right? But if children of different cultural backgrounds are able to play with a Black doll or color a Black character, that becomes a friend. That becomes a family member. So when they interact with a Black child in school, they already are used to seeing them as a human being and would interact with them a little bit more and extend more kindness as opposed to seeing them as the other, because they never saw someone like that before.
That's a terrific point. Thank you. Thank you so much, Janelle. Okay, so now I'm going to dive into these questions, right?
Okay.
And also, I would love to share your links. And so how can people reach you if they want you to come and speak at their school, or if they want you for a speaking engagement, in other places. We definitely have to share your contact info for all of that, and also for purchasing the books.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So Danielle, I feel like you're making history in so many ways just because I know you professionally and I know a bit about what you do. But in your words, how are you making history now?
Yes, I believe that I'm making history as a private practice owner as well. I own Uplifting Hearts Counseling. As I shared, we support children, teens, and adults experiencing any type of life transitions, and that's virtually. I feel like I'm making waves because I'm changing the face of what mental health looks like. I love that I can show up with my braids, with my hoop earrings, with my t-shirt, and I can really support people. And it really allows them to open up. So I think when I think about just women in history making moves, I'm doing that by just showing up as myself. And that's really important for me in the work that I do. I don't want to take on any role or take on any task or an assignment that doesn't feel like me. So I am making waves and just making history by showing up authentically and also allowing myself to be human, allowing myself to make mistakes, and also allowing myself to just be a lifelong learner. I also have coaches. I also am constantly thinking about how I can be a better person as well as a better provider and a better author. So I'm making history by just showing up as a human.
Yeah. That's terrific. That's terrific. And I think that's such a great point. Like when you walk into that room, I know for me as a client, and I started therapy, I was like 4, literally, the first time I went to therapy. So I know for me walking into the room as a client, when that therapist does not look anything like you and does not look like anyone in your community or anyone that you feel like you could connect to, it changes things, you know? So I think that absolutely, like showing up as you are as this professional clinical woman, this author, this therapist, this business owner, this director, it's amazing. So thank you. Absolutely. So what's important to you about the work that you do?
It's really important for me to give people an opportunity to heal. Sometimes people don't even know that that's an option. You know, considering the trauma that all of us have experienced, collective trauma, historical trauma, challenges from day to day, but depending on our background or our family makeup, some people are showing up every day with trauma and they don't even know that they don't have to hold that. So, you know, it's really important for me to allow people to see healing as an option. And it's not about me. It's not about me giving that as my option. It's just really offering that to them. Like, have you considered this perspective? Like, you don't have to do this. Have you considered you don't have to live this way? Have you considered that you can go to therapy? And that's really important for me, just offering different perspectives, not owning the healing, not owning the change because it doesn't belong to me. And I really want to avoid burnout, but really allowing people to see that the healing is within you. We just want to unleash it a little bit. So really like educating people that you have an option. You don't have to stay in this relationship. You don't have to go to school. There are many different things that you can do, and just letting them know that the world is wide. The world is open for you. You just have to be willing to show up and do the work.
Absolutely. I love it. Absolutely. How do you feel that your work helps others?
I know that my work helps others because my clients are very open to share that with me also. They share their wins, and I'm always so excited when they have breakthroughs. But my work helps others because I show up. I just show up. I show up as myself, as I said before. And I'm not judgmental. I'm not there to make decisions for people, but it's like this extension of a family member that can show up for someone weekly and give them that genuine, compassionate support, but also really keep it real with them. Like my clients laugh and say, oh my gosh, the library is open. Danielle is reading me, right? But sometimes we need that. We need that person to say, look, I care about you and this is not going to work for you, right? So really just helping people understand that you can love someone, you can care for someone and still hold them accountable and let them know when you're disappointed as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle. Powerful. Absolutely powerful. Yes. So now considering confidentiality, you know, I know we're always mindful about confidentiality, but what's a story that you're comfortable sharing about how your work or how you have made a difference, whether it's with an individual, a family, a community, an organization, a group of people? What's something you're comfortable sharing?
I would say, just generally speaking, A lot of the teens that I work with are experiencing shifts in their families with like divorce and, parents having heavy discussions or heavy relationships, and that's impacting the teens. And what I would say is what's been powerful for me is that some of my teens return after years and share that their parents have decided to move on, right? Like their parents have decided to move on. And it's a big deal because they were able to kind of live through that, but also know that they have the tools. So I would say, just generally speaking, just thinking about the life transitions that people experience in, I'm so grateful that people trust me to work with their children, to work with their teens, because they don't know me from anywhere, right? And trust that I'm going to pour into them and really handle them with care and love. But overall, I would say just like the teens and the things that they're going through, witnessing that, it really is helpful. They come back later on and say, hey, Mr. I'm in college, or I'm doing this, I did that, or I'm in nail school. And that's also been rewarding to let them know that they have different options in life.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Danielle. You are just an amazing, powerful clinician, author, speaker, woman. And I'm just honored to know you. So thank you so much for sharing some time with me today and with our audience.
Thank you, Amira, for connecting with me, for pouring into me, for supporting me. I love everything that you're doing as well. And we sharpen each other. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Talk soon.